Thank you very much, Pace, your time. And yes, I'm here with Biofrost. I have to ask you, first game didn't necessarily go as planned, but you guys kind of pulled it together in the next two. How did you recover from that first game, and did you expect to drop a game to Envy?
I think going into the set, we just didn't really play to like our usual selves. So we played pretty overconfident, and that really showed in our play. So we made a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, and it really showed.
Yeah, and you also kind of speak about playing to your level. You guys are now moving to still a tie for first place in the North American LCS post Doublelift era. Now Doublelift's actually over on Team Liquid. How do you feel specifically playing with Turtle this split, and how you guys have evolved as a duo?
I think initially it was a little bit shaky, but I think we've gotten better as the weeks went on. Doublelift being in Team Liquid is pretty cool actually because I never played against him, and it'll be fun to play against him for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, especially now you're in your second split of the LCS and no longer having people saying that, Doublelift is just telling Biofrost what to do. You're doing your own thing. How do you feel like you're progressing as a player this split?
I'm definitely making improvements, but there's like still a long way that I want to go. So I'm just trying to improve every day and just try my best.
All right, now you guys have played your first game of the week. How are you going to do anything fun tonight or just prepare for the next match, and how's that going to go?
We don't really do anything fun, but we'll probably be practicing. So, yeah, we play against, I forget who, but yeah, hopefully we play well.
All right, well, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow against the team you are playing. So send it back to the desk to analyze the game.
Thank you very much, Jet. TSM able to pull out the victory here in 2-1 fashion against Envy. So they'll be happy to have that in the bag as this positions them for, once again, still remaining tied in first place, but also clinching a playoff spot if either Immortals or Echo Fox lose their series today. So it hinges on that in order to clinch at the end of today, but well on their way to doing so here for TSM. Hearing from Biofrost there, maybe entering with a little bit of overconfidence there in game one, getting the better of them, but definitely kind of returning more to form there in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think you can even just like look at some of the picks in the first game, like the Talon pick with the Camille pick, like a very aggressive, explosive team comp, whereas I think when we generally think of TSM, it's a more controlled style. So in games 2 and 3, I really did like seeing the Victor and the Rise instead.
I just think it's really funny that they said they're really overconfident coming into the game, or playing the game out, because coming into the games, the pregame interviews were just like, we're going to take them seriously.
Yep.
We know they're good. Like, we're going to make sure we bring in our A game. And it's like, wait a sec, what happened?
TSM's got their PR on deck. Like that's what that says to me. They're good at their PR.
Well, yeah, it's one of those situations where I feel like it's very rare to ever see, the favored team coming into a matchup say that, they are going to underestimate, like you wouldn't.
I really don't consider them as worthy opponents, James.
Right? But it is interesting to see those statements being made. Hey, we're gonna give them the respect they deserve, but then not see that actually put into practice, and that's concerning when you move further down the line to a situation, say playoffs, where you actually hit elimination matches and things can be a little bit less forgiving, right? It's okay to be dropping a single game in a best of 3 that is 1 of 18 in a regular season, but it's definitely something they're going to want to get in check here as they move into playoffs, because they're not having as dominant a split as they did, say, in summer of last year.
Well, for most of the split, they've kind of been slow starters. Like, it's been a running joke that TSM loses the first game and they have to claw their way back, right? Even Reggie kind of said it, where it's like, oh, we're playing against CLG. We're going to lose the first game, but we'll win the next 2. So I think that, like, even they know that they have a big problem doing that, and then they're just looking to, I guess, stabilize going into playoffs.
Yeah, and I think we talk about how the league's a lot harder this split. I think the top end came down a little bit. We always said that with Doublelift departing from TSM. And then Envy, supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league, actually puts up a really good fight. Even in the second game, or third game, they did have some opportunities. They had a lead early on, and then it was kind of turned around through some mid-game skirmishing. But it's not the case where you usually see that, where the top team versus the bottom team ends up this way.
Skirmishing, we've talked a lot about it today so far. I want to kind of continue on that trend. Whereas we were looking at CLG and kind of where their failures and breakdowns exist is in their ability to skirmish. TSM, quite the opposite. This is one of the strengths of this squad, is their skirmishing. Let's look at a fight 19 minutes in. Only going to end up being a 2-for-1 in favor of TSM plus the Dragon, but just the way that they can keep their composure in kind of these very, chaotic moments is quite impressive.
Right, so they start off, nice easy pick there onto Lyra, and it's really how you played the situation out from here that is what it is, because there's 2 plays basically. There's a set play and there's a skirmish, and this is definitely the latter, where it starts out with Turtle getting picked, and then how they play it from here is extremely important, because They refocus down onto Ninja while the back side is collapsed on by Seraph and Apollo. And they really do have a couple decisions to make here, and this is why it's so much more difficult to play these out. Bjergsen blast cones over the wall, and Hakuho drops his ult. If he dropped it a little further up, potentially, you can actually turn onto the bot lane here, and even Ninja can maybe follow up onto Bjergsen. Instead, he gets into a 1v1 with Sven. You talk about maybe Hakuho can come down and join with Ninja instead of collapsing onto Bjergsen. It really depends how you focus, and the teams that tend to instinctively play these better, these split-second decisions, are coming out a lot further ahead today.
Yeah, and you tend to see like in a lot of these situations where they just play front line and back line really well. Like the back line sticks together and the front line is able to peel very well. And in the team that we said skirmished really poorly, CLG, is like the front line's like initiating the fight and the back line split off. And so you're in these really chaotic situations where like TSM's team knows exactly how to play like a very standard like ball up and like move to safe areas together. Whereas like other teams are still struggling.
Yeah, I think in that situation, it would have been very easy for Haunter to choose to go for the kill on Ninja, right? Because Ninja was at such low health, he could have made that choice to go and help Scarra, but that would have isolated both Bjergsen and Biofrost, just the two of them against two high damage carries on the side of Envy. So smart for him to kind of say, no, Sven can handle himself on the Lee Sin in that kind of 1v2 situation. I'm going to go play that front line, protect my back line, ultimately win the fight because of it.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing where like the more experienced players are better at these kinds of things. You've played more solo queue. That's like where solo queue practice does help a lot. And I think moving forward in the NA LCS, because it is a little bit scrappier of a league, I'd say generally than something like LCK, where it's a lot more focused on the set plays.
Yep.
You see that the teams that have this kind of early mid-game skirmishing come out way ahead. Even yesterday is a similar situation with C9 versus TL, where C9 was able to come out through these kind of very like hectic team fights.
Right. Player of the game going to Hansur in this game, but if we just look at his performance across all the games, the Camille Rumble matchup getting the better of the 1v1 there. So, you know, in the conversation for best top laner of the league, he's still up there, probably top 3 or so, and putting up some solid performances.
Yeah, very well deserved. I mean, earlier in the season, we were wondering if he could play carries, but recently, his last couple of weeks of just like, let's play Camille, and then he reverts back to tanks, and we know he plays frontline really well. Watch how he plays out some of these team fights. He's always baiting, he's always peeling. He's frontlining just very, very well. I think that their third game is just like, watch how he plays some of the team fights and watch how TSM plays around him. I think that he plays the frontline position a lot better than most of the top players in the league.
TSM moving to 11-2, keeping things interesting in that race for first place. We got more league action coming your way. Echo Fox and Phoenix One hit the rip in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
The Flame Suit is going to run out. I think Seraph's in a lot of trouble. Going to start to tank this up. Scarra already getting the damage down. Haunter managed to tank the turret, and first blood goes to Lee Sin. Scarra going to fight in, kicks him back forward into the Nautilus ultimate. It's going to fall, and they need a little bit more damage, but Seraph flashes forward and takes down Sven. Going to beat the stun from the Ash Arrow. Sven tags him as well, but he burns a heal, and Sven follows in. Haunter's here as well. Sven barely gets himself out as Ninja managed to get him out over the wall with the dash. Burning him down. Bjergsen actually is going to fall. Seraph able to get the kill. That's a crit onto Lulu to take it down, but Turtle is just going to take him down. The tank and the AD carry are enough for TSM. This off it, TSM is going to back away together. Ninja commits the charm and tries to get back in there, but look at the shields there. The Zara ultimate goes in, knocks up Haunter, but that's just too much. Wildgrowth finally committed and he gets shut down. Scarra charmed as well, gets a double kill for Apollo, but Hakuho leaps into the front line and goes down to Bjergsen.
And I think that's going to be it, despite a couple members still alive. TSM has far too much, should be able to clean it up.